Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy Brandon, and we have a great guest today on the Pull Up Experience today. We have my man, Mr. Michael Weatherspoon, who's going to go and tell us everything about his amazing journey of entrepreneurship, pursuing his doctorate, and just everything that makes him a great man in the city. And without further ado, I'll have him introduce himself today.
Greeting, everyone. What's up? What's up? Michael Weatherspoon here. Future author, recording artist, and also a doctoral student at Kent State University. Thanks, Brandon. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No, we appreciate you. I know you're a busy man. I appreciate you. I know we've been trying, this has been in the workings for a little while, so I appreciate you working with us, man. And I want to make sure our audience get to hear your amazing story, because if none I've gotten from your story is that you are a man who, one, has no restrictions as far as what you want to pursue. You don't let nothing, like, I'm gonna go for it, you know. And I think that's something that could be, that all of our audience can appreciate as a person, that you don't let anything limit you in what you want to pursue. So, but let's start from the beginning, man. Let's start from the beginning. Let's rep your hood. What part of Cleveland you from, man?
79th, East 79th, between Superior and St. Clair.
That's what's up.
Yep. Bellevue, Crum Street, Medina, Ansel Road,
Nice.
74th Street, all up through there.
That's what's up. So let's start from the beginning, because growing up, did you have aspirations to be an entrepreneur, to be a recording artist, or did it come eventually in your life? Or did
it emerged later on. Yeah, I had aspirations. I knew I was different, even when I was young. Got into fights, fought, come up in the hood, seen it all, but it's like God always protected me from certain things. And I knew I was always a little bit smarter than my peers.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the beginning when I was young, my mother told me I was very articulate, very good in school. All that, always a kind person, just come up in the hoods. And, at the age of about, how it's like 10, 11, 12, you start seeing those cars like, oh, that's my car. You see the dope man.
Yeah.
You're like, man, that becomes your aspiration. That, while walking to the store going to get a red Faygo Pop and a box of Boston baked beans, you see the drug dealer wearing the Air Jordans, driving a fancy car, wearing gold jewelry, and you be like, man, that's what I want. So around about the age of 14, I started selling drugs full time. Yep. 14 years old. Yep. In addition to that, the age of 15, November 1993, I was shot in a drive-by.
Oh, wow.
On 79th, on 79th and Cornelia. Walking home one night, I was shot at the age of 15, shot in the leg in the drive-by. Oh, man. At the age of, my life began to change at the age of actually 27 years old. 27, 2004 is when I didn't even join formally, though. I just began to attend this local church. And I heard the word, and the word changed my life. But more importantly, I started studying the Bible a lot at home.
That's good.
Fast forward to June 19, 2006, walking a friend home from church on a Monday night. I was shot again in a robbery. Young guy shot me in the stomach, shot me twice, shot my friend 4 times in the chest. My friend lived. Got out the house June 28th. Yeah. And 2009 is when I got my GED. 2015, December is when I got my associate in liberal arts degree. And I just fell in love with learning. So I just kept going.
Yeah.
May 2018, I received my bachelor's in communication from Cleveland State. December 2019, I received my master of education from Cleveland State. And now currently I'm a doctorate of education student at Kent State University.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro. Awesome. I appreciate it.
That's awesome. So I do want to talk about the and by the way, that's an inspiring story. I know people who, even after the first incident, they probably would have been, would have went to a whole spiral, but you kept going,
Yeah. And I forgot to add that I was also a gamer. I was a vice lord when I was 13, 12, 13 years old. Yeah, I used to run with vice lords. Yep. But I always grew up on 79th, so them were my friends,
Yeah. And I want the other part, you were a recording artist on top of that.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, always had an affinity to do music. always. And you know, back then when you hustling, you on the block, you might bust a rap or two, but it was kind of like, I guess it was had to wait on God's time, and quite frankly, you know.
Yeah.
And my favorite artist, even before he was famous, was Jay-Z. I was probably like the first guy on the block listening to Jay-Z back in '95 before he dropped the album. So one day I was at Cleveland State, 2017, and one of the students heard me rap, right? He was like, man, old school, you can rap. Because I'll be 45 years old Monday, February 6th.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Happy birthday before, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. And he heard me spit a few bars, and he was like, man, you need to make you an album mixtape. So I jumped online, started listening to some beats. And in the process of a year, I created my first album, which is called Faith Without Doubt. I released it August 6, 2019. It's on Apple, Spotify. Took me a year because I was in school. So I was doing it between semesters, catching the bus and the rapid to the Lava Room in Beechwood. Got it mastered out there. And I named it after Reasonable Doubt. But on the flip side, Faith Without Doubt.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, thanks.
That's dope. Okay.
Thanks, bro.
And I want to touch on that because once again, hearing your story inspires me because like there was no limitation. Like you said you wanted to pursue it and you went after it and you didn't let nothing hold you back. And I guess my question to you is what do you believe keeps you motivated in moments when, you know what I'm saying, you might be discouraged or where things ain't working like you want them to be, or you just in a time of life where you're just like, I don't have what I need. What keeps you motivated?
My daughter. Daughter and other people who look to me for inspiration. Because there's something that what I've learned over time, and I learned that motivation is cool, but it's sort of like garbage because there are going to be times when we are not going to be motivated.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I really truly wasn't motivated, but what I did was exercise discipline.
Ooh, okay. All right. Let's time out, Mike. So if anyone knows the podcast, I have my little buzzer from clapping because that's a gem right there, y'all. Because how many times that we think we got to be motivated to get something done? No, discipline is the key. Like days where I don't feel like doing a podcast, or I'm not saying doing a podcast, but being consistent with what you're doing and having that discipline to do it regardless of how I'm feeling. I feel like it's the key to any successful thing that you do in life. So that's a whole bar right there, Mike. So thank you for that, man.
Thank you. Yeah, discipline.
Yes. So let me ask you this. So once again, you have gone from getting your GED to on your way to your master's, right?
My doctorate, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. And once again, that's a accomplishment right there in itself. That you get the highest level of that the person can receive. So what keeps you motivated in that? Because for me, I'm not gonna lie to you. I remember going back to school myself. I'm like, yeah, this is not where it's at. No, at least not for me. Once again, what keeps you motivated in pursuing that avenue also? Because I know for most people, and I think it comes back to how you learn. Because I know for me, I learned by doing. That's just me. But you sit me in front of a person trying to verbally speak to me about what to do, it's not gonna work as much, you know. But what keeps you going?
Because I love to learn. I'm a hood intellectual. I love to read. I love words, aspiratus, alacrity, assiduous. And I always had a thing for words and learning and reading books. And I just enjoy it. And that's what kept me matriculating through school the way I did, because I would take what I learned from school, apply it in my own life, converge it with the Bible, and then I'll put something totally nice together, and moreover, I desire to create my own school. I want to create a school for marginalized communities, kindergarten through 12th grade, quite frankly. Yep. And to be a professor. I want to use it to tutor, not just to make myself great, just to say I'm Dr. such and such. No, I want to use that to enhance the intellectual acuity of other people, of disenfranchised people, of us, bro. From the hood.
Yeah, no, that's good.
You know what I'm saying?
No, and I know God's gonna bless that, because that's something that is needed in our community and among us. So that's awesome right there, Mike, man.
Yeah, thanks.
And once again, I know that what you're doing is not for the betterment of you, like say yourself, but it's for the betterment of those around you. So God bless you for that, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I do want to break down what goes into that, like what goes into trying to pursue your doctorate. I'm once again, I have close I got to my associates. That's close as I got when I was like I can't do it when not. But I don't want people to think it. Not saying it's easy, but it not work goes into that. So what would you say are some of the things that goes into trying to pursue that?
Oh yeah, reading, acute focus, man. To go into that, like you have to literally distance yourself from your peer group, and it's being very specific with your time. Using your time wisely, because that's something as we know that we do not get back. And it's more than a notion. It's more than a notion. It's really disciplining yourself off and divorcing yourself from the opinions of people. Because people always going to have a lot to say about whatever you're doing. Oh, you don't need to go to school. And most people that go to school don't get a career in what they're doing. And you don't, that's just that. But I'm looking at it as an investment. So you have to change your paradigm or the way you look at it. You know, and people go say stuff and really they're just having a way to project their insecurities on you.
Come on, that's a mic drop right there, Mike, man. That's a mic drop, man. Because you're hearing about that.
Yeah, reading, because like for example, you know how you hear, and I know you being, you know, hosting a podcast, I understand the truth behind knowing your audience, right? However, when I went into college, I'm from the hood, bro. I dropped out of school 9th grade. Now I'm 31 years old trying to get a GED. My professor would use certain words and things like that. And in the context of a sentence, I understood. Sometimes I didn't, but I had to go do the work to research it and find out what it meant. Their job is to pull me up. So now it's like, that's what goes into a doctorate. Like you hear people say, oh man, you know, you shouldn't do this, or you should, but my job is to pull you up.
Yeah.
That's my job, you know. And then if you don't want to do the work, there's nothing I could do. So I know their job, I'm looking at it from a premise of their job as my professors is to pull me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna present everything that I need, but it's still up to me to do the work, right?
Yeah. I'll never forget this pastor said something profound. He said the job of any great educator, speaker, person of influence, their job is to literally, he said, I love how he said, it's like a parent when they take the cookies and bring it down to a shelf to where you can obtain it, right? Same thing with information. You know, like you said, your professors, they bring a complex subject, but they bring it to where, or put it in a way you can receive it. And I think that's a mark of anyone of any type of education standpoint.
Yeah.
And that's good. Okay. And listen, I don't want to stray away from the fact you are a recording artist, and I don't think that's something that we can take to think lesson of, because that takes a skill set in itself. Like you said, you had to find the music, you had to find the production, you had to find the engineer or whatnot. Let's talk about that process as a whole, because for our audience, especially those who are aspiring to be artists themselves, what are some of the things they need to understand what pursuing that?
Pursuing that, try to, you know, it has to be truthful. Don't do it to be cool or this sounds cool and the people like this. You got to be authentic to yourself.
Yeah.
In spite of what anyone else may think. And what goes into it for me is the street, 79, biblical teachings, academic, and it's all converged in one.
Yeah.
So I have a lot to say. And what I do is I take my time, I listen to the music, and not just any music. You know, it don't click. I have to feel it in my soul. It has to be a knower. And then I come up with a concept, and I might just listen to it in the car for 3 or 4 days, listen to the music, and like, oh, and I actually take my time and I write it out. I write my thoughts so it can be complete, articulate. I want it to make sense. And more importantly, I want it to have a message. Yeah. Every song that I have has a message. I'm not preaching, but it does have a message. Yep. Because I lived it, and I'm serving to, again, like enhance the cerebral ability of people. Like I want to enhance their overall quality of life with my music. So it's enough negativity and Dracos and pill popping and all this other stuff going on already.
Yeah.
It's like self-destruction, you know? And it's like, I don't want to do that. No, I want to hear my music over a tight beat and be like, wow, like it touched your soul.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll just release my third album, October 3rd. It's on Apple and Spotify and all other platforms. It's called In Red Print. Yep. And
by the way, guys, we'll have it in the show notes, so you don't got to go looking for it. If you guys want to make sure to check that out, it's going to be in the show notes, so you don't have to go looking around. It's going to be right here. I have to get in one episode, but like, okay, I want to check out Mike's episode. Boom, it's going to be right there. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. Definitely process.
Yeah. So, okay. So we talked about the past, talk about the present, let's talk about the future, man. So we already know you're in pursuit of your doctorate or whatnot. And I know you talked about creating a school for the marginalized. What other projects do you want to pursue in the future?
I want to create a tutoring / counseling center. Because I know that us people of color from the hood, we experience so much trauma. And we have aspirations to go to school or to be an entrepreneur or to be a carpenter or to be a bricklayer or even a hairstylist or barber, but we have so many psychological barriers oftentimes, you know, and financial barriers too, but the psychological barriers are always first because we think about what we don't have financially and we think ourselves tired. We think ourselves into quitting before we even get started.
Yeah.
Because of the trauma that we face, we come from the hood where education is not salient. You know, our parents or, you know, people from the hood talk about it. Yeah, go to school, but it ain't important to them for real. You know what I'm saying? Because the minute you start doing something productive, it don't have to be an academic college. You know, like I said, carpentry, barbershop, hair school, we're not supported by our own. You know, and that's something I want to change that as much as I can. You know, and I know the only way I can't change the world, but I can change myself. I'm working on get better, man. You know, and I think we fail to do that, man. We look too much to love and hip hop. We look to celebrities. We look to Instagram and reels to change us, but we post cool quotes, but we don't live them, or we don't try to apply them.
That's a whole bar right there, Mike, man. That's a whole bar right there. We post good quotes, but we don't live by them. Ooh, that's good.
Yeah, we don't live by them. Sound cool. We look for attention.
Yeah.
Opposed to getting our real lives together. You know, in order that even Jesus says more blessed to give than to receive in the book of Acts, but we don't look at it like that. And we be so mentally absorbed in what we got going on and in ourselves. And we think ourselves into depression because we're not focused on nobody but us. You're not going out releasing endorphins by doing something for somebody else. Just on purpose. Releasing some endorphins. Let me go to the gym. You think yourself into this spiral of negativity and to this slump. And that's the onset of depression. Now here comes anxiety coupled along with it. And now you got anxiety and depression. You're anxious over something that ain't even happening yet because you think yourself into it first.
Yeah.
You know, I want to go to school, but I want to do this, but, and then you think about it over and over. I ain't been to school in 20 years. Oh, I might fail. And you think yourself into losing, man. And I want to change that. And it's all the trauma that we have experienced in the hood, man. It's like in the hood within our families of origin. And it's getting past that first, man, mentally.
Yeah.
Again, back to one of your favorite things is discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a scripture. If I could just share this, not to make this a religious, you know.
Nah, Mike, do your thing, man. Do your thing, because you preach today, bro. Do it.
Yeah. It's in 1 Corinthians. It's in 1 Corinthians. I want to say chapter 7, verse 27, but I know it's in the book of 1 Corinthians 7:35, if I'm not mistaken. But Paul said, but I discipline my body and bring it to subjection, lest when I've preached to others, I become disqualified. You know, we've been told this lie of you got to kill your flesh. No, if we didn't have resistance, how could we win?
Yeah.
Every challenges make champions. You know how many times Mike Tyson probably lost before he became champion? I mean, everybody. You know, you need resistance, just like bodybuilding. You can't build what's already been dealt to us. Every man been dealt a measure of faith. We all have the same thing we got, but a bodybuilder takes the time to develop what he already got. And I think that's what we're missing in the hood, man. Like, we have everything we need, yet we don't humble ourselves, for number one, and forget what we think we know. That's the first key to learning. The learners will always exceed the learned because they humble enough to learn something different, whether they agree with it or not. That's the first key, is to humble ourselves.
Yeah.
That way we can receive the help that we need and get past all these trauma bonds and emerge as a community collectively. But yet, Instagram got us in competition with one another. While the real people who owning Jordan, who owning Balenciaga and all this, they winning. Yeah. But your friends start a clothing line, you don't want to support them. You want to try to finesse them. Oh, let me get it for the 15, bruh. Let me get it for the 10. But when you go in Walmart, you don't go to the register and say, man, let me get this dub for the 3. You're going to pay full price and not ask any question. So don't let me, I hope to sound like I'm not going on a diatribe or nothing, but
no, listen, that's
stuff that I'm
good
passionate about.
That's good stuff. I know we talked off camera. We talked about that very thing about the support aspect. And I was like, I had to stop to my man because the guy in for an interview because it's good stuff right there. So we might as well go into it, because one of the reasons why we started this podcast as a whole, because in our city, there's certain people who have done the work and they deserve to get the shine they get, right? But I feel like us as a people, we have this gatekeeper mentality that if this person on, no one else can get on. No, we all can get on. It's no reason why we can't. And the reason why we started this podcast is to be able to put the spotlight on those individuals who are doing work in our community but don't get the recognition or get the spotlight they deserve, right? And like the question I propose to all our guests is, as that being the same for our city, how do we break that? And you have some great insight into that, so I want to speak upon that.
Yeah, we got to break that by first recognizing that other people have value and merit, and their aspirations, and not just our own. Yeah, that's for number one, man. And because if you think we're better together, 2 is always better than 1.
Yeah.
But you see them as not having, and you know what else? I just heard this in my spirit. There's a commonality factor with us coming from the hood too, man. It's like, just like what you're doing, Brandon. I find it to be awesome, right? But somebody who's very close to you, to them, is just, oh, that's just Brandon.
No.
That's just Brandon.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Yeah, it's a commonality. We too common with one another. That's happened to Jesus. Yeah. Jesus did all these miracles and signs. The people that was close to him didn't see him as the anointed one day. Oh, that's just the carpenter's son. But everybody else, like, again, people oftentimes who are too close to the sunlight get blinded by it. Yet people from a distant benefit from the rays. And that's what happens all the time. You're too common, you're too comfortable. So guess what? Jesus couldn't even do no mighty works. He couldn't heal him if he wanted to, because they didn't see him as the Christ. They couldn't receive him. They were too common. And that's what happens all the time in our community. Yep. Your friends start a clothing line. Hey, man, I got these shirts, $20. But you'll go out and spend that on some loud or something. But then when you blow up, oh, that's my dude, or that's my girl. And
no, listen.
I'm sorry.
No, that's good, because you'll be episode 97. I want to say around episode 70, 80 is when we actually started, like, people was like, oh yeah, I like what y'all doing. But we had 80 episodes in, and it's like, I'm not knocking it, but at the same time, I'm like, well, we've been doing it for about this amount of time. But you gotta, like you said, you gotta take it for what it is. It's just that people, like, I love how you said it, when people are too close to something, they get blinded by it. Because I literally heard people's mouth, oh, this is Brandy, his little podcast. I'm like,
that's where the shade be at. And that shade be in that, and the jokes, the shade be hidden, And it's like, don't even get it mad though, because that's their insecurity. They oftentimes get upset with you about something that they could have put in their story. Yeah.
That's good.
You know what I mean?
That's good, Mike, man. So, okay. So we talked about that, and I do want to talk about your legacy, man, because I see great things that are going to occur and going to continue to happen in your life. My question to you that I ask all of my guests is, what do you want your legacy to be for you as an individual, and then for you also professionally? What do you want people to think about Michael Weatherspoon? What do you want them to associate your name with?
I want them to associate my name with character, integrity, and quite frankly, character, because we know the scripture said a man's gift will make room for him, but only his character can keep him there. Character outshines your gift.
Yeah.
Character outshines your personality. Kindness, number 2, is because that's what's truly desired. People want to know how much we care, not how much we know. You know, once they see that you care, they're willing to receive what you know.
Yeah. That's a whole bar right there, Mike, man.
Yeah.
That's a whole bar.
Integrity, standing up, being integral, being truthful, being honest, leading with fidelity, leading with love. And that's my individual legacy. And you said on a professional level, oh man, for us to just educate ourselves. I mean, at every facet. I mean, not just in textbooks, but from one another. Be willing to learn, be willing to listen. And for us to support one another in the hood.
Yeah.
You know, I could be formal, talk about, you know, disadvantaged communities, but like you said, this is conversation.
Yeah.
You see, I want us to that's on a professional level, man. That would be great if that could be our apparatus in the hood, is to support one another and educate ourselves. And even if you find out something that you personally don't be with or agree with, know that every belief is a choice and every choice can be changed. Like, forget what you think you know. You know what? It reminds me of, and I'm seeing this as I'm speaking to you, it reminds me of the Garden of Eden, right? But we know in that context of the Bible, he told them they can eat from the tree of life, but not from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Why is that? 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verses 1 and 2 says, knowledge puffs up, it makes arrogant, but love is what edifies. You know, because you can think you know something, and because of this newfound knowledge that you perceive to be knowledge, that can be your light now. And now you won't be able to receive nothing else. But people don't understand that growing is more important than knowing. Me sitting here learning from you is more important than what's in the textbook, because it's going to help me grow, whether I agree with it or not. And that's something we need to do on a macro level.
Yeah.
And we do, man. We really do.
Yeah.
And support one another. That's what my heart is, because that was me, you know, and that Mike from 79th is still in here. He ain't left. Yeah. So I get it, you know, I feel it. I've been there, and I'm striving to evolve.
Yeah.
You know, I got a bar. If I could just share one thing, Brandon, one of my songs, I say, hear me, y'all. We're supposed to evolve and get compensated from the problems we solve. Yet we extricate and refuse to get involved with issues we entertain and hold back to resolve. And transform our vendettas and vendellas to eloquent artistry and classic operettas. A cappella and a nice novella, heart matters for us to do better. Like, you know, like we supposed to evolve and get compensated from the problems we solve. Yet we pull ourselves out and refuse to get involved with issues we entertain. Yet we hold back the answer. We hold back the resolve. You know, we're supposed to take these things and turn them into a novella is a book, into a novella or a cappella or a song or something. Take all of that pain and pour it into something that can benefit somebody else. But yet we hold it in, you know, we like to entertain garbage, man.
Yeah.
Man, we do sometimes. We just do. We don't, and don't you know, when somebody bringing you a gossip, they think you're a trash can. But we don't look at it like that, bro.
That, man. Oh man, you keep dropping bombs left and right, Mike, man. I never thought about it like that. You're right. Someone bring you gossip, that means obviously they know that they can bring it your way or whatnot. Wow.
Yeah, because you know, you've met people, Brandon, throughout life who they don't have to say anything, but their aura exhibits a standard.
Yeah. Ooh, that's good. That's good right there, Mike, man. And I think that's something we all should strive for. Like, people should know off top, like, no, I'm not bringing this Mike's way, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to bring nonsense his way, you know what I'm saying? I'm only bringing excellence. I'm only bringing things that are
Good report.
integrity,
No,
you know what I'm saying?
praiseworthy. I mean, yeah.
That's good. That's good, man. I will say this is a great interview, man, because I'm learning a lot, you know, because the gems you're dropping are not just for entrepreneurs as a whole, but just for us as people as a whole. And I think that's a great thing that we all strive for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, entrepreneurs, man, because it takes a lot. Entrepreneurs need to be supported, man. It takes a lot to distance yourself and have a habitual vision of greatness and to believe in you. It takes us all day long. Everything is speaking to us. We step foot out this house right now. There's a billboard that says, you know, burgers 2 for $5. Everything is speaking to derail us from our destiny all day long.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to believe in you when everybody else say you can't, you shouldn't. I don't think that's going to happen for you. But again, we walk by faith and not by sight.
True. Okay, Mike, listen. Because y'all, okay. we want to do part 2. We want to do part 2. It's coming up, y'all. And we gotta give Mike and all his wisdom, because, like, you know what I'm saying, he over preaching to me today. And I appreciate you, bro. What are 3 things you want someone to take away from the interview today?
One more time. Can you repeat it, please?
Sorry about that. What are 3 things you want someone to take away from your interview today? The importance of love. The importance of education. And the importance of having good character. Those are all great things or whatnot.
Yeah. Because love is the greatest, man. You know, if I love you, I won't steal from you. I won't talk about you. I will not support you, if that makes sense. You know, if I love you, I'm going to love you unconditionally, and you'll know my love. So I won't even tell you, you'll know it.
You'll know it. You'll feel it. You'll see it.
Feel it. Yep. It's a knower. It's not a feeling. It's a knower. You know what you know, even when you feel contrary.
Yeah. That's good stuff, man. So yeah, we're definitely gonna do part 2, and we should do it at, we should be there when you graduate, man, to be able to congratulate you on accomplishment, man. So we gonna map this out. So where can people reach you, Mike, man? Where can people listen to the album? Where can people just get a chance to know a little bit more about you?
Oh yeah, they can reach me at far as Instagram, it is Dr. Michael, and that is Dr. Michael _coming_soon. So Dr.Michael_coming_soon. Facebook, it is Michael Weatherspoon, and that is WeatherSpoon, MED. So Michael Weatherspoon, MED on Facebook. My albums, In Red Print, Street Literature, Faith Without Doubt, they're all on Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, Tidal, and every other online platform that you can think of. And YouTube, also Michael Weatherspoon on YouTube is where you can find my videos.
And by the way, guys, we'll have that all in the show notes. So you gotta go look around. We'll have it. So you guys, after listening to this great interview, you can be like, I want to listen to the album. Boom, we're gonna have right there in the show notes. So you're gonna go searching. All one-stop shop for y'all. Mike, we appreciate you, man. I thank you for your wisdom. I thank you for just once again sharing your story with us today, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So listen, guys, I want to thank you guys once again for coming out every week to see great people like Mike share their story and just once again uplift our city. This will be episode 97, guys. Listen, I want to thank you guys because we're on the road to 100 episodes. It has been a great journey, and we're not going to stop. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. As long as we got people like Mike in our city who's doing great things, we'll keep bringing y'all great people, okay? So listen, guys, I just want to thank you, and we'll see you next week, all right? Peace.
Peace.